All right, Boston, we are back. And it's time for us to continue our year 4 offseason here with your Boston Bruins after a Stanley Cup championship and a really good draft day, making some trades, getting some good prospects. We're through the re-sign stage and we now have free agency, and I have a lot of things to do. I've already done some pre-scouting. I wonder if you guys are going to like my moves or not. But before we get to any of that, I've got to re-sign my coaching staff. You guys were pointing this out in the comment section. Don't worry, you can sign the coaches, the start of free agency. So even though I let my former coaches go, they're still there in the list that I can get back. Our head coach Tagaskis, he is still signed for another 2 years. So we don't have to worry about that. Let me just go to hire coach. But our assistant coaches and our alternate coaches, some of these guys actually moved up, right? So NHL head coaches, look at this guy, Gostad. What was his first name? Michael Gostad. He was our NHL associate coach last year. So we're not going to be able to bring him back. So what I'm going to do is, I got the list on front of me. I'm going to do some power of video editing right away. I'll go through the list and give every single one of our coaches a 2-year deal to match our head coach, and then we can take it to free agency. So hang on a second. All right, so I've gone ahead and sent offers to the 7 coaching positions that we need to have filled. They'll take a few days, just like the free agents, to sign, so we'll wait on those guys, all right? It shouldn't be an issue. The good thing is that we have our head coach, so that's all that matters. Now, when it comes to free agency, I've already done some pre-scouting. I know who I want to target. There's no big-time names that I'm going after because of the salary cap situation. What I want to do is make some trades, all right? We all know the story of the Boston Bruins. It started last year when we parted ways with our goaltender, Tuukka Rask, and we allowed Charlie McAvoy to get an offer sheet from another team. We decided not to put money into goaltending and to not spend $11.7 or $11.2 million on a defenseman. We want to save that money for superstar talent up front, all right? And also bring in some players that play into our coach's system. So the trade for Hayden Fleury was big time. The signing was big time as well. 6x6. The problem with Hayden Fleury is that we don't know what kind of chemistry he's going to have. We don't know what kind of style he likes to play as well. So I'm going to have to wait till preseason for that. But we do know that Torrey Krug and Brendan Carlo are going to be on our first line. So the idea is that Hayden Fleury is going to be on the second line, and you got to find a second line right-handed defenseman to play alongside of him. Ryan Ellis, we traded for him last year. He got the job done, but at 32 years of age, if he continues to drop off, we're going to get stuck with that contract. We don't want that to happen. So ideally, he could play alongside of Hayden Fleury, but like I said, we don't want to get stuck with that contract. Jonas Brodin, he's got 1 year left. We could move him down to the third line, right? But he doesn't really play well on the third defensive pairing. So I think I want to move on from Jonas Brodin and from Ryan Ellis. We got to find a defensive partner for Hayden Fleury, and then whether or not Lambos is ready to come up, or do we have to go out and get 2 top 6 defensemen? We'll get to that in a second, all right? The forward core looks pretty much the exact same. We're not going to be trading for any forwards. We got 11 guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with Nikushkin, and then we got to sign like a 12th roster player, 4th line forward. We have plenty of depth guys that can play, so we're not in trouble when it comes to forwards, but defensemen, all right? Defensemen. Now, I've already been going through the NHL, and it seems like defensive defensemen with our team work very well. Remember what Torrey Krug and Brendan Carlo have been doing alongside of one another. Now, whether that's the chemistry, the player types, I don't know. But take a look at some of these stats from Torrey Krug, right? 81 points, 83 points, 63 points. And this was the season that we started playing him alongside of Brendan Carlo. Year 1, I think it was McAvoy, minus 15, plus 30, plus 41, plus 38. Krug and Carlo play amazing alongside of one another. Here's Carlo's stats, right? And Carlo is that defensive defenseman. Take a look again. Only 21 points, but a plus 36, plus 51, plus 31. So I'm thinking that with this coaching setup and this roster, defensive defensemen can really play well. So I was going through every team, and we landed on the Edmonton Oilers. And they want to give up some defensemen. All right? There you go. Clefbaum, Adam Larsen, and Darnell Nurse. Now, they all still have 3 years left. If you took a look at Oscar Clefbaum, all right, he actually fits on the third defensive pairing, But for a guy making $5.3 million for a third defensive pairing, if I put him back there, his overall may drop, and then we get stuck with the contract. That's not going to work out. Darnell Nurse, left-handed also, but he doesn't fit any of the coaching schemes, so that's not going to work out. Adam Larsen. Now, Taylor Hall traded for Adam Larsen. That was a big-time fail. Don't worry, I'm not going to be giving up that much value for him. But look at that. Fits on every defensive pairing, and he's right-handed. And just like Brendan Carlo, defensive defenseman. So I was wondering, if Brendan Carlo gets Torrey Krug going so much, will Adam Larsen be able to get Hayden Fleury going in the exact same way? Now, he's a -17. Remember, Edmonton's just a shitty team. He was +8 the year before that, +3 the year before that. Take a look at his individual stats. He hits, he throws the body. Last year, he had a lot of takeaways. A lot of giveaways to takeaways, but the years before that looks really good, 23 to 54. So I'm thinking if you just get him in the right situation, this guy can get it done for you. So Adam Larsen, all right? The idea was to put him alongside of Hayden Fleury. But we also need a defenseman on the top six. And I go down here to Neil Pionk. How do you pronounce that name? Offensive defenseman. Take a look at his individual stats. Not that bad. And then his advanced analytics, +11, +13, 21 points. I think he's an offensive defenseman. Take a look at his advanced analytics. Doesn't throw the body too much, does give the puck away, but we just need to get an offensive defenseman back there for the third line, because I'm really liking this combo between offensive or two-way and defensive defenseman, all right? And he's not going to cost that much. Now, they don't want to give him up. It's only 1 year left at 2.750, but I got my eyes on this guy. So Larsen and Punk. Now, Larsen's making 4.690. If you guys could turn that into a $3.9 million player, less than $4 million, I think that's a pretty good trade. So there it is. That's what I want to get back from the Edmonton Oilers. Now, what would I be willing to give up, right? They don't want Ryan Ellis. They don't want Jonas Brodin. Makes sense. They're trading away guys like that. They want Lambos. I'm not giving up Lambos for Adam Larsen. That's the same freaking problem. But Axel Anderson. Now, Axel Anderson's been here since day one. When did we draft him? 2018 second round. Two-way defender. We have been growing him in the AHL. He's put up some pretty decent numbers. Last year, 46 points, 25 or +25, 18 penalty minutes. But this guy, I feel, is the same as, what was his name? Valimaki. Vakanainen. Vakanainen. Yeah, Vakanainen. Doesn't really throw the body. More of a offensive guy. Now, these numbers are not bad, but these are AHL numbers, right? I don't think he's going to be ready to go in the NHL. He's already 77 overall. He's 23 years of age. I'm not liking those individual stats. So if I'm getting, what's his name? Adam Larsen, and I get to hold on to Kreitzer, and I get to hold on to Lambos, I don't mind giving up Axel Anderson in this deal. They want him also, all right? So Axel Anderson going back the other way, that's not near going to be enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our draft picks, because we have a plethora of them, and I don't mind giving up my first rounder, all right? We still have the LA Kings first. We still have LA's first next year and our first from next year, and the year after that, LA's and ours. We plan on being a Stanley Cup contender again this season, so it's not going to be a lottery pick. I don't mind giving that up, all right? So Axel Anderson and a first for Adam Larsen at a retained contract, and Neil Pionk. Will it go through? Trade rejected. All right, so that's not going to be enough. I think it might be Pionk and the retained. So I give up the first. I'll give up a second the year after that as well. So a prospect defenseman that's ready to play in the NHL, a first for the upcoming season, and a second for the year after that for a defenseman they want to give up, and a defenseman that only has 1 year left on his deal. Will it go through? Trade accepted. We believe this transaction will contribute to our success here in Edmonton, so we are accepting your trade offer. There it is, all right? Step one is done. So the draft pick situation, we still have the LA Kings pick. We still have a first, second, and a third for next year, so that's fine. And when you take a look at our defenseman now, all right, bang. Krug, Fleury, Carlo, Brodin, Ellis, and there's Adam Larsen, 83 overall. 3 years left at less than $4 million. And don't worry about his age, because 3 years left, that'll take him up to 33. Krug is older than Larsen. We're trying to win the Stanley Cup right now. I'm trying to find a guy like Brendan Carlo who can get Hayden Fleury going. Now, still can't see how this guy's going to play on the team. We're going to have to wait till preseason. All right, but I'm taking a hunch here. It did say, what did it say? It did say, before I traded for him, it did say he could play on every defensive pairing. So I think Takauskas really likes defensive defensemen, just his scheme, right? So that is the trade. Now what we have to do is we have to get rid of Jonas Brodin and Ryan Ellis, because if Larsen's on the second line, Brodin and Ellis get pushed down to the top six, that's not going to work out. And I really don't need any more defensemen. I really don't need any forwards. So what we're going to do is, just in case I get accused of fleecing the computers too much, when I'm doing these kind of trades, when I'm just trying to get rid of someone, I'm going to accept trade offers incoming from the CPUs, so that it's you kind of get me offering and also the computers offering me trades, all right? So first up, we're going to go Jonas Brodin. Put him on the trading block. Thank you very much for your time here, Jonas. All right, you got yourself a Stanley Cup, but we got to move on. So the Carolina Hurricanes, interested in giving a first and a third. I'm not going to give it to the Carolina Hurricanes. We met them in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't need that shit coming back to bite us. The Nashville Predators. I'd love to get a first rounder. They're only willing to give up a second. No, that's not going to work. The New Jersey Devils. The Devils are willing to give up a first. All right, so that's interesting. Let's just go through. I want to get a first back. The Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't want to help out the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not with that roster. So no. But I do want that first rounder. 2 seconds from the Vegas Golden Knights. Third, and a prospect from Washington. Don't want a prospect. We already have prospects. I want to choose my prospects. I want first rounders. So it seems like the New Jersey Devils were the only team that I'd be willing to trade. We haven't met them in the playoffs just yet, and they're in the Metropolitan, so you're talking about conference finals. Carolina also in the Metropolitan, but the difference is the Carolina Hurricanes went all the way to the conference finals already, so I don't want to boost them up. Their status is a contender. We're not going to be able to get a first rounder from a team that's clearly not going to make the playoffs, right? I just want to replace our first round pick that we traded for Adam Larsen. So they have Nico Hischier, they have Jack Hughes. Yeah, they look like they're going to be a playoff team. Their forward core looks very nice. What about their defenseman? Subban may drop off. He's 34 years of age. Gustafsson. Their blue line's a little bit weak, and goaltender, they have Matt Murray at 87 overall. Yeah, they look like a team that's going to make the playoffs, and considering their blue line is weak, this makes sense. 1-year deal. They're going for it next year. Yeah, so this is the answer for anyone saying that I'm fleecing the computers. The computer offered me this trade. It makes sense for the New Jersey Devils. I'm not going to try to tweak it. Thank you very much for your time, Jonas Brodin, but it's time to send you to New Jersey. And there it is. On behalf of the New Jersey Devils organization, I accept your trade offer. We'll see you out on the ice. All right, so Jonas Brodin is gone. That should free up some cap space, and we're going to do the exact same thing with Ryan Ellis, all right? Find the trade offers, and let's see. So the Edmonton Oilers do want Ryan Ellis now, I guess because they moved on from Adam Larsen, but I want draft picks. I just want draft picks. I don't want any of these. The Toronto Maple Leafs, I don't really want to help out the Toronto Maple Leafs. They finally get that right-handed defenseman, although Ryan Ellis is getting older, so you could stunt them with a salary cap right there. Let's just see if there's anything else. But year one, right? Year one, especially in our division. Year one, I don't need that. Washington. There you go. Washington's willing to give up a first. What else? So it's just Washington and Toronto. Between those two teams, Metro. Metro for sure. So let me just edit that trade. Let's see how good the Washington Capitals are for next season. Alexander Ovechkin should still be kicking around, but he's getting up there in age, right? 37 years of age, still 90 overall. Kuznetsov is in his prime. I shouldn't be dropping off. Backstrom should, yeah. So Backstrom and Ovechkin could continue to drop off. Their forwards, they got depth, but you never know. The thing about Ovi, though, is he's still going to take 300 shots a season, right? John Carl, all right, they still have some guys on this team. It makes sense why they're trying to make a trade for a defenseman. They still have Braden Holtbeast in the net. Yeah, that makes sense why they would want a left-handed defenseman on this team for a first rounder. They're trying to get one more cut before Ovi retires. So Ryan Ellis for a first from the Washington Capitals. Thank you very much for the 1 year of service you had, Ryan Ellis. Goes from Nashville to Boston, wins a cup. Now goes from Boston to Washington. But he got his big-time contract, so he's getting paid the whole time. Thank you very much. I'm happy to accept this proposal on behalf of the Washington Capitals, all right? So there you go. There's 2 trades. I made 1 trade where I got to call the shots with the Edmonton Oilers, and then 2 trades where the computers got to call the shots, all right? And that frees up $9.4 million of cap space. Beautiful. All right, So we're still waiting on the coaches to be signed. I'm going to go to free agency right now, and we are going to make some free agent acquisitions. Now, there are some big time names available. I have an idea of what I want to do, but before we sign those big time names, we have to get the depth. All right. So first up, the goalie situation. I want to make sure I get a third goalie. You guys were saying to go for this Nadal Djokovic guy because he's $8.50 million for 2 years, or 2 years. Thing is, I'm gonna let some other team go after him. I feel like that's kind of cheese. He was the backup for the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm gonna go after a veteran for a situation like this, and it worked last time. I'm gonna do it again. Jim Reimer, baby. All right, we're gonna bring back Jim Reimer. 1 year, $750K. Bang. All right, so Jim Reimer. We signed him last season in free agency. We dropped him to waivers, but we won the Stanley Cup. We'll first take care of the forwards, all right? So centers, there's a lot of guys here. We already have our 4 centers, though, with Frederic Bergeron, Point, and Raquel. So I just want to go down and get a guy who could be a depth player for us, just in case an injury happens. All the way down here, all right, Riley Nash. Take a look at why I'm signing Riley Nash, all right? The Pro Scout says he fits in the bottom 6, and he can win some faceoffs. His individual stats are decent. He's nice and cheap, 34 years of age. All right, just going to snag him up 1 year, 1.250. There's Riley Nash. Left wingers, I already went through all this. Go all the way down to Oscar Sundqvist, 4th line, power forward. Same thing. He fits on the 3rd forward line, but he fits on all penalty kill lines. So if I need a guy who can kill penalties, 1 year, 1.5 million, get Oscar Sundqvist in there. We got the center, we got the left winger. We're going to go right wingers right now. Go all the way down and pick up Jesper Fast. Same thing as Sundqvist, all right? He can kill all the penalty kill lines. Or he can play on all the penalty kill lines. So I'm going to bring him back. A sniper for the 4th line, just in case. These guys won't be playing. I'm just getting the depth. But here we go. So we got the top 4, Krug and Carlo, what's his name? Fleury and Larsen. Now we just picked up that Pionk guy to play on the right side. I'm going to target another defenseman all the way down here, Nikita Zadorov. His role is top 6, defenseman, 28 years of age, only wants $2 million. And look at the coach. Fits in all the defensive pairings and on all power play lines. So Tagaskis really likes his defenseman. So I want to play into that, all right? But I don't want to get caught with Zadorov's contract. So I'm just going to go 1 year. This is going to be a tryout for Zadorov, all right? We're going to go 1 year. I should be able to get him. I want to make sure I get him. This guy's a little bit more valuable than the depth players. This guy's actually going to play. So 1 year, $2.250 million for Zadorov. All right, so Sundqvist, Nash, Fast, Zadorov, and Reimer. 1 player in each position. The trade for 2 first-round picks from New Jersey and Washington. All right, I'll just bring that up. And then also acquiring Adam Larsen for Axel Anderson and a first. Remember, we traded away our first-round pick from this year, and look at it, we still have LA's, the Devils, and the Capitals. So I got rid of Brodin and Ellis, got rid of our first-round pick, brought in Larson. I still have 3 first-rounders, and it's not even our team, and we know we're going to be a good team, right? So I think that's a great... some great moves here, and we haven't even passed day number 1. Now, I want to remember, once we get those 5 players signed, then we'll be able to see how much cap space we have available, and if I can get that 12th forward, that veteran, just to help out a playoff push for 1 more year, I'll do it. Because remember, we want to spend all that money on the roster. So let's advance the day, see what happens here. Nothing on day number 1. We're also waiting for our coaches to sign. Kyle Volpetti, initially I was going to decline, all right, but after mulling it over, I'll agree. Good. So he's on the team. He's going to accept. Good. Denisov is back. That's just our goalie coach. I accept with no reservations. Vitanen is back. Good. Good. Masalis is back. I think I got like 1 new guy. I think it was just 2 new guys. Because 2 guys actually moved up to another position. The players have still not signed. Backman, he is back. All right. Dustin Pecker. There you go. Our AHL coach. Remember the Pecks. Russell Mestre, yeah, he was on our team last year, and here we go. So I could trade away the LA Kings first, and the LA Kings first for next year, and get myself Oliver Ekman-Larsson. No thank you. I don't need a big-time gun like that. I've already made my moves, and in fact, I don't want any trades coming in right now, because I am already set in stone with what I have. So bang, bang, bang. There you go. Very nice. Hang on a second. What am I doing? Yeah, the players still haven't signed yet, right? No, the players still haven't signed. So advanced day, one day at a time. Jim Reimer, he's coming back to Boston, boys. Does he deserve a ring after we dropped him to waivers? Oh, I'm so sorry, James. We'll see if we can get you on this year, my man. Zadorov, all right, Zadorov is on the team, good. Riley Nash is on the team, good. Jesper Fast is on the team, good. And Oscar Sundqvist is on the team. So we got Zadorov, we got Reimer, and we got the three guys up front. I think we're still waiting on coaches, but the thing is that now we have the cap space. We'll know exactly how much cap space we have. So the cap space is $7 million. Am I still waiting on somebody? Hang on a second. Approached. Am I still waiting on anyone? All skaters, goalies? No, we're good. All right, so we have $7 million of cap space available. So UFAs, let's see. Is there any defensemen? We already have our top four set. Captain Keith Yandel is, Manson is the best guy. Defenseman to get him, but I'm not putting two defensive defensemen alongside of one another. Remember, Larsen's on the second, Carlo's on the first, and then we just signed Zadorov because we went after Punk. So I don't want to go after Manson. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to really go for a cup run this year, all right? We got some big-time veteran talent available in free agency. Ryan O'Reilly, Evgeny Malkin, Jonathan Taveser, Max Pacioretty is in there. So you know what? I think, what about Jonathan Taves for the third or fourth line? Doesn't really fit in on any of the forward lines. What did he just do last year? We had Patrice Bergeron. I'm trying to think. Do we need another guy who can kill off penalties and such? Nah, not so much. I mean, he's a filthy defensive player. But I think I want to go after a guy who can also score some goals and be trusted defensively. Claude Giroux. Claude Giroux, boys. He still can score 30 goals in comparison to Jonathan Taves, who only put up, 17 last year? 32 goals. The year before that, 45. So even if he continues to drop off, I still see like a 25, 22 goal scorer right here. -6. Don't worry about that. That's Philly. It doesn't take penalty minutes. And the same thing as Taveser is very good defensively. So how about a Claude Giroux for the third line alongside of Patrice Bergeron, and then we can move Nemesnikov down to the fourth line, right? So Claude Giroux, 1 year. Other teams are interested, Philly, but I got some space to send this content, so I'm going to go 1 year, 6,750 for Claude Giroux. Let's see if we can get Giroux on the Boston Bruins. This is what I mean about team building, right? I want to spend that money up front, considering we won the Stanley Cup last year. We have 3 first-round picks. We have Lambos, we have Kreitzer, we have Pitkinen, we have Pasternak, we have Brendan Carlo. We're not giving up any pieces of the future here for this. This is good. So let's advance the day. Let's see what happens here. Claude Giroux, a member of the Boston Bruins, baby. All right, it's advanced day. Pretty sure my coaching staff is set now. Yep, we got our coaches back. All right, coach staff chemistry is 58%. Don't worry on that. We got some new guys. We'll build up that chemistry as we go. And when it comes to our team, how much more cap space do we have? I'd say we have like less than $1 million. Or we just have $1 million. So that'll give me that flexibility that I need if I'm moving players up and down through waivers. So we're going to leave it right there. We're going to simulate two preseason, all right, to see what our team looks like in year number 5. So let's jump to it. So here we are, year number 5. Your brand new look, what's it called? Boston Bruins. I'm very interested to see what this is all about, what this is going to look like now. All right, so don't know exactly what I want to do with injury players. Reimer's going to stay down there in the AHL for right now. Saros and Brassard are going to stay on the team. Krug, Fleury, Carlo, Larsen, Punk, and Zadorov, the 6 defensemen in the system. Now, Lambos is 79 overall, so I'm going to bring him up right now. Is he waiver? Oh, yeah, we're in preseason, so I don't have to worry about waivers. All right, I just want to see if he fits on the team. I don't think he's played in the AHL just yet, so it might be beneficial to give him 1 year down there and then bring him up if I need to. And when it comes to the forward core, Pitkinen is still not ready to go, 77, so I'm not going to bring up anyone right there. We already have 21 players on the team. All right, so let's jump into the line changes and see what we got going on here. All right, so let me just go best lines. Bang. So Marchand is still a 90 overall. Okay, so he's lost his exact elite potential. All right, so you got 90 overall. I'd say by the time playoffs roll around, he's going to be 88, 87 overall. So you got 1 more year of Brad Marchand being serviceable. But last year was his golden year, was his Conn Smythe. That was the best you'd ever see Brad Marchand. Still had his exact elite, but a veteran with all that experience, 34 years of age. All right, so he can still get it done. And a +1, he's going to help out Braden Point and Pasternak. Braden Point still has his exact elite, and Pasta still has his exact elite. So that first line is still gravy, baby. Second line, Ricard Raquel. Jake DeBrusk is at 85, and Claude Giroux, 84. Now, I don't know what I want to do with Giroux just yet. Let me get Jacob Forsbacka Karlsson onto that second line just to bring those guys back together. It's still a +1, remember. All right, third line. This is what I was thinking about the third line. Giroux with Bergeron and Shenishin, because Giroux's going to be a better playmaker than Nemesnikov, and he can score goals, and he's defensive. So that third line is just pure on defensive, pure on experience, and Shenishin, the shooter, maybe he can get something going there, but also maybe you want to go Jacob Forsbacka Karlsson for the shooter. I don't know. Giroux might still be a shooter, but the point is it's +1. And then the fourth line, Nemesnikov could play center, I guess, or I could throw him on this side. What about Frederick? Is Frederick getting it done as the fourth line center? Yeah, we still have a +1. So Nemesnikov with Nikushkin and Frederick still gives us that +1, right? And then the scratch players, the scratch forwards, is going to be Jesper Fast and Oscar Sundqvist, which is exactly what I wanted from those two guys, right? Sundqvist is a center? I thought he was a left wing. Oh, is he just because he was the left wing last position that I had him? Oh, there's a glitch. Whatever. All right, so the forward core is looking good. All right, defensively, Torrey Krug with Hayden Fleury. No, we're not putting Hayden Fleury right there. Now, come on, please say something good. Please say something good. Please say something good. Oh, that is perfect. That is perfect. Hayden Fleury with Tagaskis loves the second line. So if I put him right there, boom. Oh, my God. So Adam Larsen. What's Adam Larsen? Adam Larsen loves every single line. Oh, what a signing. Brendan Carlo. Also, yeah, the defensive defensemen love Tagaskis. They just do. But what about, I want Carlo up there. I did it. I am an absolute genius. So moving on from Brodin and Ellis, we replaced it with Hayden Fleury and Larsen. And people may say Larsen's a little bit too low of an overall, 30 years of age. Fact is, I got him less than $4 million. All right, 3 years left, less than $4 million. He's 30, so 3 years works out perfectly for a guy like that, right? He wants to play on every single line. He can kill penalties, so he's versatile. I can move him wherever I want to. And he's got a +3 with Hayden Fleury on the second. So Fleury's playing like an 89, and Larsen's playing like an 86. Carlo's playing like a 90. Krug's playing like a 95. Hell yeah. All right, so for the next 3 years, I mean, Torrey Krug still has, oh, thank God, Torrey Krug still has his exact elite potential at 32 years of age. So for at least the next 2 years for sure. Because Larsen, for the next 2 years for sure, this is our defensive core. A +8 chemistry to the +5. For your top 4, there you go. And Nikita Zadorov, let's see, Zadorov, yeah. All right, so Tagaskis loves defensive defensemen. I might have to find an offensive, that's why I got the offensive defenseman. Ponk, let's see. Okay, so we got a problem with Ponk right there. Ponk is not really loving the third line. He loves the first line, right? So if I put, but the problem is when you put two of the same type of defensemen alongside one another, their chemistry does suffer, right? So I might need to look around the NHL to try to find an offensive or two-way defenseman, right-handed, who wants to play on my third line, because that would make it even better. But it's still not bad, because they got the +1, right? They still got the +1. I'm fine with that. And they're cheap. It's all about the top 6. Very good. Very good. Special teams. Let's see this. Pasta, Point, Marchand, DeBrusk, Krug. Yeah. Fleury. Does Fleury? Oh, Fleury could actually help out the power play. Let's see if I put Fleury in there. Krug. Yeah. Then Tagaskis is just a pure defensive player. We're not going to really be able to maximize the power play, but that's okay. And then the penalty kill. Let's see. Bergie. I got Bergie in there, and Claude Giroux. Giroux actually does kill off the penalty pretty well. So I could put Giroux on the first line penalty kill just to give him some more ice time, right? Hayden Fleury doesn't like it, but Zadorov. What about, see, now I also got Adam Larsen to kill off penalties, right? Adam Larsen. Let's see. No, Larsen doesn't. Okay, so we're all over the place when it comes to special teams, but 5-on-5 looks good. Now, here's the question. What about Lambos? What about Lambos? So if I bring out Zadorov and I throw Lambos in there, right? Because Zadorov doesn't have to start. We lose the +1. So what's Lambos liking? Lambos wants to play the first or second line. So, interesting. What about like Lambos and Fleury? Even though they're two lefties. Lambos and Fleury. It still gets the +3, and then Larsen and Ponk. Oh. All right, so we're going to end the video right there because a lot of decisions. Should Carson Lambos play in the NHL this season? Take a look at his individual stats. I'm not liking his passing. I'm not liking his offensive awareness. I think the reason is his overall is skyrocketing. Take a look at his shooting category. Slap shot power, slap shot accuracy. 94, 95. I mean, Jesus. So I think this guy could benefit from 1 year in the AHL, considering he's only 20 and he hasn't played in the AHL at all. Because we drafted him and he was in the CHL. He was playing in the dub with the Winnipeg something or other. All right, he's got 60 points. He's certainly ready to move on from the CHL. But how about 1 year in the AHL? I don't think we're going to stunt his growth. We could always bring him up mid-season. But I like the idea of running with these guys because we're still in Stanley Cup mode right now, right? We're still in Stanley Cup mode. And eventually, as Krug begins to drop off, the switch would be Fleury staying on the second line. And then we go with Lambos on the first. All right, we could probably do something where Krug and Carlo get moved. I don't know what we would do right there. That's real interesting. That's all over the place. But you see what I mean about right now, year number 5? I think Lambo should be down there in the AHL. All right, and Zadorov should get the chance along with Ponk. Just that's the way our team is set. So yeah, we're gonna end it right there. What do you guys think? AHL. All right, I'm gonna bring up the starting lines for the AHL. Best lines. Nabokov, there's Pitkanen, so we need one more. That's another reason. We want Pitkanen, who's 21, one more year to get better, and then we'll have Pitkanen and Lambos ready for the NHL while Giroux and Bergeron probably leave, right? This might be Bergeron's last season. Very interesting. Defensively, Lazone. There's Kreitzer. Kreitzer's getting first-line ice time. Good. And then goaltenders, we have Jim Reimer, but I might even just scratch Reimer for Fritz Meyer so we can have Fritz and Raji. Because both of these guys, high fringe starter and Fritz Meyer's a medium starter. Our two medium elites haven't got that contract just yet. All right, so yeah, it's a little bit of a shorter GM mode commentary today. Boyos, we didn't do it on Twitch. There wasn't a lot of NHL highlights to talk about today, so I just did a regular, what's it called? A regular regular YouTube video. Man, I can't even talk. But last but not least, I didn't mean to do this. Last but not least, I want to take a look at a team that, three teams that we want to pay attention to because we have their draft picks: Washington, New Jersey, and the LA Kings. So here's Washington. We have their first rounder. Ovi's still going to be Ovi at 89 overall. He's still going to bang her home. For sure. He had 57 goals last year. He's still going to bang her home. Kuznetsov is still good. Backstrom dropped off. Oshie, all right, that team might not have a great season. They still have Carlson. There's Ryan Ellis. Ellis dropped to 82. And he dropped to a top 6 defenseman. Ah, what a beautiful trade that was. Oh my God, what a beautiful trade that was. Yes. And then Matt Murray. I'd say they could still, Samsonov. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs for sure. Or they're going to be like just miss the play. They're not going to be a bad team, put it like that. New Jersey, Hishay and Hughes, that might be all she wrote unless they get an injury. They have depth. Now they're going to make the playoffs as well. There's Jonas Brodin, still has his top 4. Rounds out that defensive core quite nicely, does Jonas Brodin. Yeah, they could make the playoffs. They could certainly make the playoffs there, yeah. What about the LA Kings? All right, remember, we got a top 6 pick, so it might have already worked out. Oh, my God. The LA Kings have nobody in net. Brian Elliott, 38 years of age, is their starting goaltender. All right, what about the scratch? Do they have a goalie scratched? Sillinger. Oh, that was that guy that they drafted 5th overall. They're not going to play Sillinger, so he didn't jump too much. He's still only 80. Oh, they signed Max Pacioretty. All right, so Kopitar went down, but they signed Max Pacioretty, and Patches should be able to get some offense for them. He had 41 goals last year. Same thing as the Ovi. Don't look at his overall. He shoots. Kopitar dropped big time. His exact potential is bottom 6, so we still have 3 more years of LA King picks coming, and Kopitar's already dropped down to an 83. Kempe, Grunstrom, they got Getzlaff, but he's 38. Marcus Johansson, Gabriel Velarde, Toffoli. They have a deep forward core that might not be bad. McAvoy, Drew Doughty still has his exact elite, so Drew hasn't dropped off at all. McAvoy's still 90 overall. Zaboral, now they don't look great, especially they could miss the playoffs again. They could miss the playoffs again. It might be a real good pick. And if it is, man, it's working in our favor big time. View draft class. Let's take a look at what's going in the top 5 this year. So you got Cody West, a right winger. Alexander Vishnevsky is center. Crooks, a right winger. A bunch of centers. So no defenseman. Yeah, no defenseman until Butler all the way down there in 11. So it looks like this year, if we could get a center, if we could get like a Wisniewski or a Finley or a Reyes, just to prepare to move on from Ricard Raquel. So you got Point and then the new guy up and coming. That might be beneficial. Or we could go just straight on right winger to prepare for Marchand retiring, right? So this is actually a really good year for the LA Kings pick. We need wingers and we need centers going forward anyways. So big time, big time. So we're going to end it right there. What do you guys think about the Lambo situation, AHL, or should I just play him on the top 6? I think that might stunt his growth more than playing him top line minutes in the AHL. Top line, top power play, top penalty kill, everything. And then we see what Zadorov and Ponk do. If Zadorov and Ponk aren't having a great season, they can move on from them easily. Remember, I only got Zadorov to that 1-year deal, and Ponk only had 1-year deal coming back the other way. So let me know what you guys think. Genius moves by GM Superb, man. That Hayden Fleury, the fact that he wants to play in the second line, oh my god, is that so good. So let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one.
Hey guys, Johnny here, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and make sure notifications are on so you don't miss out on any new content. We also live stream on Twitch where I take days off my life for your entertainment.
Sonny Gray, get out of it.
You stupid pieces of shit! I should have gone with Jose for Fernandez! Oh my god, pitching change. Fernandez, get your ass in there. Oh, I swear to god, baseball god just decided to all over me. Grand slam, oh yeah! Make me miss the playoffs with a first-ranked team. Year 2, 30 games above 500, no divisional win, trip to the wild card. First inning!